Hello and welcome back to Witches of the Moon. I'm Eva Maria, your Monday hostess. I'm a little bit tired, but I'm here to introduce this week's topic, which is prayer versus petition. I have some written out points of note with me here that I want to be sure to touch upon in this video. I want to just try to introduce this topic with my basic thoughts in regard to what the difference is between prayer and petition, and then I'm going to wrap this video up and head on to bed because I have to get to work kind of early, so this will probably be a short video. Now, the first thing I want to say is that my definition of prayer is that prayer is a spiritual or religious outpouring of thoughts, emotions, gratitude, reverence, or desires to higher powers, entities on other planes, or spirits of various sorts. Whereas petitions, in my personal view, are a direct request or intention expressed. This can be spiritually or religiously directed, or petitions can be purely expressions of one's will. Prayers can be thought, felt, written, or spoken. Petitions can be thought, felt, or spoken, but in most cases, they're usually written and or drawn in some way. Prayers, they can be utilized in, magical workings or religious or spiritual settings, or for purposes of a religious or spiritual nature, but prayer can also be used at any time for almost any reason and in almost any way. Prayer has a lot of versatility to it. On the other hand, petitions are used generally, most usually, in magical workings. They're usually written on paper. They're most often used under candles, like in candle spells. Particularly, certain paths tend to do this a lot. For example, in hoodoo, you will find a lot of petition paper utilization. But petitions can also be used in other sorts of spells as well. I hope to express to you that you need not use petitions only in working candle spells. You can create petition papers or petitions on some other media, and you can use them, in other sorts of works. Don't feel that you need to limit yourself. The sky's the limit. You do what resonates with you. But do understand that that is something that you can use within your arsenal of techniques. You can either, let's say, write out an intention. For example, if you're seeking prosperity, you might write something such as, prosperity comes to me. There are more hours at my job available to me, more opportunities open up. Something along the lines of money stays with me and money grows in my possession. Something like that, and then you'd probably add some sort of words of power and power and sort of what's the word I'm looking for? You use words of power and also words of sealing. Something like Amen, or so would it be, or Ashe, or something along those lines. You could write it out. You could write a little paragraph of like what you want. Generally, it is recommended by many people that when you write out an expression in that respect for something that you wish to manifest, generally it is suggested that you should write it as though it is already the case. It has already happened, or it's already yours. It's already, like how I said, for example, I prosper, money grows in my possession, money stays with me, things like that. You're not saying I want money. That people generally suggest it this way because you are willing it to be. It's like an expression of having faith in what it is that you're seeking to manifest. This is just a suggestion, though. Do what resonates with you. But I think even psychologically speaking, to express something as though it is already the case, it is really solidifying that idea, so that although you may or may not be necessarily visualizing it in your mind, you are stating it as a fact. You are willing it to be, in that you have already created that reality in your mindset by stating it in the present as though it, or stating that it is already, it has come to pass. But you can also draw images, visualization on paper. You need not necessarily write words. If you're not good with written words, it's okay to draw what it is you're looking for. Potentially, if you're not great at drawing or writing, you could even make a collage on a piece of paper, cut out pictures, cut up photographs, glue them together, make the scene that you want to see come to pass. If you want to see yourself prospering, cut out a picture of yourself smiling with your hands held out and paste like maybe an image of like tons and tons of money, in your hands. Something along those lines if you're seeking prosperity. If you're seeking love, maybe you could cut out a picture of yourself surrounded with hearts or something, or maybe use an image of like two hands holding. You could use a picture of your own hand as one of the hands, and then just use another, a hand of a man or a woman or whatever, like something along those lines. I'm just trying to explain to you that, petitions, the sky's the limit. Do what resonates with you. The idea is to, express your direct request or intention in a way that it is made tangible. This is a focal point for your will, for you to direct the energies that you are manipulating or moving to create the desired result that you're seeking. I hope that makes sense. I hope you understand what I'm trying to convey. Prayer, on the other hand, I believe it's more of a dialogue, or an expression. It's a sharing, again, with either higher powers such as deities, or sometimes there are like higher powers that are not quite deities, but they're not quite like lower spirits, or otherworldly, just entities that exist. But there are things that are higher, higher mind, universal mind you can speak to. You can speak to whatever deity, you can speak to spirits of the trees, spirits of the departed. You can speak to spirits of animal totems. There's so many powers that you can pray to, that you can open up that dialogue with, and generally, in my experience, my understanding, the way that they will communicate back to you is usually in signs, synchronicities, dreams, feelings, things of that nature. So I feel that prayer is more of a dialogue, an expression, and I do feel that it kind of does go both ways, and I do personally believe in the power of prayer, and I do personally believe that prayers are heard, and that there is a power in prayer, especially collective prayer. I feel that when many people come together, that there's further empowerment, of course. I feel in the prayer that in the prayers that are offered up, in the dialogue that is opened up. Kind of like when many people come together and have a discussion. There's a lot more exchange going on, and therefore more potential for, growth, questioning, ideas to come up, things like that. From a religious or spiritual perspective, note that's an important part of the sentence I'm about to say. From a religious or spiritual perspective, all petitions are prayers, but not all prayers are petitions. However, there are exceptions even to this rule. Again, petitions need not be spiritually or religiously directed or motivated at all. I will also say before wrapping up this video that both of these techniques are very effective. They can be used, in themselves, or they can be used in conjunction with one another. Oftentimes when people make petitions, not always, but oftentimes, many times, people that are spiritual or religious magical practitioners, they will incorporate prayer into their petition. For example, a lot of times in hoodoo, they will use, for example, the Psalms, which are prayers. They will utilize them in their petitions. Many times, for example, if you're seeking to manifest something that is of benefit to yourself, such as prosperity or well-being, you may use something such as Psalm 23. It speaks of concepts, of divinity being there for you, of God, like guiding you, of helping you, your cup overfloweth, such and so forth. That's just an example, just using that as an example. You can use in other paths, faiths, ways, whatever, you can use prayers of other sorts in conjunction with petitions as well. I'm just using that as an example, a particular kind of example, that prayer and petition can be used together. So I hope I've introduced this week's topic in a decent way. I look forward to hearing from everyone else who will be presenting videos, toward this discussion topic this week, what everyone else will bring forth and share and discuss. I also look forward to reading your comments, viewers, not just on my video, but on the videos of others. I like to see what all of you viewers bring into this, into all of our discussions, really. Into this discussion, I'll be really eager to see what everyone says, because this is, I think, really, really interesting. And I don't know that many of us have ever really stopped to think about petition and prayer in juxtaposition to one another. Oftentimes, like, we have an idea that there's distinctions and yet similarities, but I don't know that we always compare and contrast. But this is a good thing. So if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, feelings, anything you'd like to share, add, bring forth, I welcome you. Please share those in the comment box. And I do encourage you to watch the videos that everyone else will be bringing forth this week on this topic. And I wish you a wonderful Monday. I wish you blessed be and Ashe as always. And until our next exchange, until next week, stay awesome, and bye-bye for now.